A young person of indeterminate sex stands in the mouth of a jaguar. The fool is represented as a person who seems unable to pay attention to himself or the things around him. It is the average state of most of us in our present behavior, manifesting little wisdom, apathetic to the world about us, and seemingly victims of circumstances. As we are all full of potential, so is the fool. Children and fools tell the truth, right? And this naivete, innocence, is the breath, the energy source which propels the fool inevitably forward on the journey to the knowledge of sorcery. The fool manifests the first unconscious act of a separate self, breath. With spirituality, breathing. So the fool is spiritual, right? You think so I'm woke, I'm conscious. Yeah, that's a good start. The fool manifests the first unconscious act of a separate self, breath. The car represents the spirit of a thing, its primary essence, its nature, its causal expression. The person ruled by their stars, but manifests a natural curiosity, not the curiosity of a scientist that will come, but the tinkering inquiry of a child where play becomes discovery. So it's like the zero isn't a zero. The zero is everything. The zero is the sun. I mean, is all things. The fool represents to his own person the Naga. To himself, he is the unknown. He is caught in the belief he can know himself. That's the nigga. He thinks that the mind can know the mystery of existence. And so the search begins. At first, the fool just wanders aimlessly through the jungle of the mind, picking up bits and pieces of information. Gradually, the accretion begins to assume significance, and he gets the feeling he knows where he is going. Various paths seem to lead him to important crossroads. He asks himself seemingly significant questions. Who am I? Where am I going? What is the reason for existence? What is life about? What is relationship? He questions everyone and everything. And the more he questions, the less he understands. Everyone he questions is only too willing to supply him with answers, yet none of these answers satisfy him. He boils with discontent, for he has the driving urge to find the unknown reality, God. His mind only responds to this search to understand the unknowable, to partake in the body of God. He wants to return home. He dreams of happiness. Damn. And is willing to do anything to achieve this most worthy goal. He will leave no question unanswered, no stone unturned. He will inquire into every system of philosophy. He will ask every wise man, every saint, all of whom will point the way, and none of whom will he believe. He will take up every social reform, will shout high, admirable political slogans. He will work for the good of mankind. He will build political parties and healing institutions, but he still does not know the self, the reality, the unknown of God. He must try harder. He does. He tries harder. And at last, he's got it. He knows. At last, he has it. The mind is silent and he knows it. At last, he loves everyone and he knows it. He knows happiness and can at last point the way of others. Yet, no. He is really happy. He has not escaped at last the turmoil, the pain, the confusion of life. He has not at last discovered the secret of life and the divine and permanent security. Well, has he not? Then, in a flash of a lack of thought, he saw it. What a marvelous refuge he had built. What a marvelous escape. What a fool he is. It's not the end, it's the beginning. The zero is the beginning. This is the first card. This is the beginning stage when you start to ask yourself, who am I? Where am I? You see what I'm saying? What is the reason for existing? This is the nigga on his way. He becomes the guy at the end. What a fool is he? What a fool is he? What a fool am I? He goes through every study of philosophy. The fool, he is caught in the belief that he can know himself. This shit is hard to accept the fact that you're everything. You're all things. You can do anything, all these things, most of the stuff, none of this stuff, whatever you want to do. When we start to limit ourselves is how we begin to be the fool. His mind only responds to the search. The mind only responds to trying to find out. When you're at this stage, I gotta find out what happened to me. I gotta find out. I've been the fool. I gotta say. I mean, I'm reading this, enjoying this recap of being foolish, of this degree. It's a degree. Where am I going? What is the reason for existing? What is life all about? He questions everything and everyone. And the more he questions, the less he understands. Everyone he questions is only too willing to supply him with answers. Yet none of these answers satisfy him. See, we gotta understand, like, look, like I be trying to explain to people, like, I'm not here to kill the entertainment aspect of the fool. I'm not here to end the game of the fool. The fool is a level. The fool is a spark. It's a place. It's a point. It's a position. The fool is a real live thing. He dreams of happiness and joy, and he is willing to do anything to achieve this most worthy goal. Like his admirable. No, you're doing this willy nilly. What a fool is she? What a fool is he? In this search of of happiness and these dreams of happiness and joy, you're willing to do anything for it, and that anything goes against your happiness. What a fool he was, this sorcerer. And seeing the foolishness of his actions, the sorcerer stumbled into the light of truth. He had kept himself so busy considering what it was that drove him on his quest that he never had time to inquire into his confusion, his strife, and the antagonism, all the foolish things that were his view of life. When foolishness is gone, then intelligence can shine. The fool who is stupid and wants to become intelligent is still a fool with foolish wants. Stupidity can never be made into wisdom. Only when stupidity ceases is there wisdom and intelligence. The fool, tired, the fool tried very hard to become intelligent and obviously could not. He was able to fake it, but that did not make him happy. If you don't have a sense of humor, if you can't laugh at this shit, if you can't say I was stupid, I was corny, I made a mistake, you're never going to get it. You're never going to step outside of your current existence. Like I'm telling y'all, this whole shit is judgmental. We got to judge ourselves.